What are the coincidences? But that's not related. Chemtrails over the country club, really. Right, that's some of the THI stuff out of the way. I'm going to cover the Zoom call on Friday again now, and some a few pieces later on a final finishing piece. Now, we had a lot of fun and quite a revealing Zoom call last Friday for those who attended. And we may do another one tomorrow, an impromptu one. And I did say I would record it, but I only remembered halfway through. Anyway, the key parts of it were revealed, and tonight we'll go over the key points of it anyway. Now, there were several scenarios that had the potential to play out last month, and my intuition based or advised me to not make any moves or plans within that month. I had mentioned this in the end of year review part 3. Now, some were to do with Trump and some of the trustee, neither of which manifested. Others were to do with dark magicians dancing again around the 21st, and this was prevented. Now, the new way of getting the funds out from the trust via some slag heap is also not valid as it stands either. And even if it is, I am not sure she will be allowed access into that town to do what she planned to do. Subsequent information that's came forward since confirmed that. Now, I've seen the piles that she's referring to. They were there over 3 years ago, and it's unclear of who it actually belongs to. But Tank's report this week confirmed it with great clarity for those that read between the lines. Plus, there was 2 other major backtrackings from there in the past week. And I guess 11 months after sacking me from the trust position for no reason or reasoning is now coming home to roost. But for me personally, it has brought much advancements. And her talking of that slag heap is suggestive she cannot access the cash reserved assets within the system anymore, or the other physical assets either. I know both exist. I have records of one of them, and also how much the trust personally has to gain for admin fees. Now, I wish it was all different, but it's not. Which leaves us with only one option, which has been around for 5 years now, the People's Club. And the gist of that Zoom call is to re-energise the TPC movement, which was badly stalled due to the split with the trustee last year. Time has moved on, near 11 months now. In fact, it's over 11 months, and the promise of trust funds coming to anyone currently is disappearing into the mist. And if the trustee couldn't get the funds out with Trump, there is even less chance with the Democrats. They don't like her very much and have made attempts on her life in the past. We waited 4 years for Trump, Q and the trustee to deliver. None of them did, despite the sterling efforts at that time of Kim and also her team. But waiting 4 years for Trump to rise again when he delivered nothing to the people in the previous 4 years is pure folly. The current administration will need to be challenged and made accountable like never before, and that applies in other countries also. And the need for a combined people's group and platform now should be obvious to you all. We have no say in life or matters that affects all of our lives. We're not connected together within a tight-knit community, all spread out across the internet with similar goals, but nothing concrete with which and how to go about things. Now, this is not just for THI members and listeners. This will be open to all people, all colours, all religions and all groups to come and combine with ideas, ideals and new improved methods of going about things in one giant community and cooperative based group. It is not a group with a figurehead. It is your group. The old system has collapsed, and yet what hasn't yet developed is what we, that's us, replace it with. If we don't replace it with something better, the old system will rise again and provide their system for us, and you all know how that works. We can build for the first time in history our own faction, the People's Faction, our own empire, our own system, operating in a better way than all has gone before us. We the people have never had a voice or say in anything on this planet. Why? Because too many were all too content to allow others to run things for them. That is adult children behaviour. And we've all been guilty of that. Myself included. This group will be built upon adults being adults, future thinking, cooperative thinking and mindset. What do we need, not what we greed. A caring and sharing group that benefits the all. It's not designed to make anyone a millionaire, build their own individual empires of greed-based ownership, comparative or competitive-based people. None of those worked for us in the past, so why would we replicate it? Well, we're not. Not much of the old system worked for us, so we are tasked with developing and creating a system that does work for us. The old systems and programs all need to go. You know why the remnants of the old system continue to carry on? Because we haven't stepped up and provided a viable alternative. They know their time is up, but they're not going to hand it to us on a plate like parents feeding their children again. We have to take it back. And once we do, they are doomed forever. Because once we get millions operating within the TPC and adhering to the guidelines, they cannot stop us. Because we always had the power. We have the numbers and we have a clearer path of where we are going and heading. And I'm asking you all to get on board fully and let's build this together. The groundwork is done. Now is the time for expansion. Now, to accommodate the TPC revamp, this is what I'm proposing. At the same time, this is a revamp of the thinkdifferent.thepeoplesclub.org website. There will be no more THI, Truth, Honour and Integrity, on that page. The THI Shows has its own page now with all the archives and the links. We are introducing a new concept that in essence replaces the state groups we formed, but I'm not against the state groups gatherings continuing, as once this takes off it will revert to state by state involvement again anyway. And participation in these gatherings is not dependent on joining or listening to THI anymore. It is an open group of like-minded people coming together with the goal of improving life, lives and lifestyles. So this way you can encourage your friends, family and work colleagues to join in and we increase the numbers and the standing of our venture. Now, the reason for the disconnect from THI is there is content in our shows that goes way beyond the understanding of most of this country. And just one controversial subject, whatever it may be, will be enough for a non-doer to find an excuse to not participate. And there are far more non-doers than doers. And they'll seek any excuse to not do anything. These are the people who chase papers with numbers on and saviour programs. And a lot of work needs to go into this, the bulk of which has been on my shoulders to this point, but now I need people to step up in whatever way possible. Now, there are assemblies running around from two groups, and their validity, as mentioned recently, is highly questionable at this point and possibly illegal, I am informed. So I pondered on committees, but that is more corporate terminology, and so I came up with a new description for our groups: communal gatherings. Now, there will be a one-off subscriber fee of $2 to join the site, but we will encourage all people who join to put in whatever amounts they can afford in each month. That all goes into helping each other within the communal gatherings. All subscription funds will go to the TPC. Now, the communal gatherings will be your choice of participation, a chance for you to be involved with like-minded people in topics that interest you. And these gatherings are designed for you all to come up with actionable events, things that can be done by us all without waiting for funds. Because most of the changes we need can be done by little to no funds. Now, obviously, we have the TPC funds, and where possible, we will endeavour to continue to support members, small projects and equipment where required, based on validity and availability of funds. But the idea is to increase the awareness of the People's Club and how, if we get thousands chipping in each week or month, we can create our own jobs, businesses, developments and ideas from within our own communities. And this is your opportunity to be the change. We currently have no voice or designated platform with which to make and be the change we all wish to see. Now, once the database of subscribers has reached a reasonable figure, then emails for the communal gathering topics will go to the people in each topic to arrange a meeting and formulate your group. There is no need to select a leader. You are all pioneers and all leaders for this venture. But perhaps at first one person can coordinate all your gatherings, ideas and plans. Now, whilst this is for America and possibly Canada only at this time, I'm open to speaking with other countries or regions to set up their own gatherings under the banner of the TPC. Now, we have a lot of new members. Despite events the past 12 months, our membership and listeners has gone up quite a bit, over 20%. But if you're not familiar with THI or the TPC, I encourage people to watch the 2 TPC videos to understand what we are about and how you can be the change. And those 2 videos will give you the basic guidelines of the TPC and our memes of need, not greed, caring and sharing, cooperative, not comparative or competitive. They are the memes for us all to go forward with. Those 7 words is our blueprint for real change if we all adopt those thinking processes and attitudes to life and other people. Now, once you register and subscribe, a box will come up where it'll ask you to put in your first and last name, your county and state, and your email address. Now, there will be a login for members after they have subscribed and a section for each communal gathering. Now, there is a drop-down box of select from this list your choice of communal gatherings, and I just came up with 8 for now. Law, taxes and finance, gardening, non-GMO food, activism, personal self-help, school curriculum, grant writing and fundraising, and housing and moving. There is also a suggestion box of other communal gatherings that you would like to see. Now, we do have the option of our own blog or posting site within the website. So members log on into the communal gatherings and then access their own group. Now, this allows the many who don't engage in social media that listen to our show to all join in as well. Now, the law section. First of all, I want to say I will not be involved in these communal gatherings. I have far too much else to do. But I will be instrumental when it starts off, because we have to get off on the right foot. Otherwise, we all start arguing over minor, stupid things, and it falls apart again. So as each communal gathering is set up, I will probably attend the first calls and maybe even other ones further down the line. But the likes of the law section, what I'm looking for people in there is, let's not argue over whether it's common or natural law, because both have drawbacks in their terminology, and let's build our own actionable law group. Preferably not based on Magna Cartas, reclaiming birth certificate funds, cancelling driver's licenses, and not paying taxes. They are not actionable. If they were, it would have happened in the last decade when all these common law groups were started. None of them have come to any sort of validity. Now, this will also become the law section, a support group that can give legal or law advice at a later date. And we can employ one person to give law support to members and the TPC on a commission basis, with the employee charging less than normal lawyers and a portion of the fee going to the TPC. Now, eventually we will need more than one person for that role, and those people will be designated as the official TPC law team, which protects the parent company as well as the members, and eventually the businesses as well. The grant writing team will be similar to law. If we have people available, and I know some of you have come forward, and competent to do it, then they will be the TPC grant team. And I'm open to the TPC paying for 1 or 2 people to attend a college course to learn how to do it and build a team of 3 or more grant writers. Now, that will involve a fair bit of research on the grant writer's behalf of locating what grants will be available to the TPC and then applying them. Now, they will be paid based on commission of the grants being approved, and a small portion of each grant would go back to the TPC. The main grant would go to the project of whatever it was entailed. Now, taxes and finances, the same applies. As it stands, we have one designated TPC tax accountant, and I would like a few more as numbers grow. And the accountant would be able to do all your taxes each year for a low fee and a small donation to the TPC would be included. Now, other sections that could be included in the finances are if people wish a financial review of their own personal finances. And people within the group can perhaps give ideas on how to improve everyone's situation, whether it's to do with loans, credit cards, or mortgages. And there are several ways to improve all of our financial situations if people put in the time and wish to share their financial details with other members who can help, or we get a designated small financial help group for more privacy and charge a small fee to go to the TPC for the help provided based on what you can afford. So those three categories, law, finances and grant writing, would be our first employees of the TPC, initially under a commission basis, but as we grow, permanent positions for people also. Now these gatherings, we need people acting like adults, not the childlike manner some of the state and country groups exhibited. You know, it's okay if you don't like everyone. It's okay if you don't like me. I don't care. What I do care is if you're disrupting other people. But at least be civil and not ruin a group based on one or two people not liking each other. There's a higher calling here than personal, childlike squabbles. And it's also okay to disagree with certain topics or discussions, but the key is to find a common consensus to work with, and so agree to disagree and keep the focus on the goals of the group, not personal opinions or conflicts. Like I said, I'm open to Canada joining America in these communal gatherings until they build up their numbers there and create their own, should they wish to do so. Maybe European countries can copy the method and go forward together and then split off into individual countries once their numbers are sufficient to go alone also. I think people doubted me when I said this was our last chance to combine and stop the onslaught of the weakened, aging psychopaths that are running the dying embers of the old system. If we wait long enough, the lower minions will take up the baton and we will end up with an Orwellian techno-based world that will benefit only those who comply. No one listens to this show is a complier. So that world is not going to be suitable for us. And I don't think many here now doubt that concern. Unless we fill the void, they will yet again fill it for us. And you're not only dooming yourselves, but your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren for many generations. Do you wish for history to look back on us as the generation that ended all freedoms? Declared a weak and gutless generation, cowered by fear and insecurity, divisiveness and pettiness, or this was the generation that changed this planet once and for all into a better, more vibrant, caring and sharing and cooperative planet. Free of war, free of scarcity, free of abuse and free of the dog-eat-dog games played out on a daily basis around the world. This is your opportunity to quit crying about governments, cabals, faction, violence, unfairness and heinous crimes and do something about it. Not dabble at it like all of the groups, but put a genuine effort into making it work. Currently, we have no power due to divide and conquer. But if we build together, we become the force. A force to be reckoned with, as for the first time in history, should we succeed, we will have our own empire, our own faction, our own voice, and enforcement. Enforcement does not require guns. And all it takes is for the people to come together. Now, we're also launching soon a TPC sales website, and anyone can sell their goods or wares on there, like a TPC eBay, for want of a better term. And we will be adding other companies to sell their wares, for example, the Harold Tier tech boxes, and a CBD oil company that wanted to advertise sales and give a portion to the TPC. Now, all sales on there will include a portion of the sale going to the TPC, which will be decided in a drop-down box by the seller. And a small fee will go to the designated website operator also. So this will be another paid position created within the TPC. Now, the TPC will not be held responsible for any issues between seller and buyer, damaged goods, non-arriving items, or any delivery issues. All sales and issues are solely the responsibility of the seller and the buyer, not TPC. Now, the website will be called TPC Sells and will be run by one of the members initially, but as it grows, we will add more operators to it for those who are skilled at it, and commission on sales will be shared. So essentially, say you have an item that you want to sell for $10, and 1% goes, or a selected percentage goes to the website person who's operating it, because they've got to input it all and take it all down and all that. And then another drop-down box, which will be the seller's choice of a commission to the TPC. You can put $1, you can put $8, you can put $9. It's your choice. But a portion goes to both. That way, we're creating this clockwise flow. Now, I've been busy with another project this past month or so, but I was waiting until the March Madness or the potentials of it to pass before launching into it. And much research has been done, and I'm now seriously looking into and perhaps launching a community gathering for TPC members, which will also be THI members. And in essence, it becomes the starting point of a THI TPC community. It's not exactly the village we envisioned, but maybe that will come later. Now, the details of where, some of you know, it's in the northern New Mexico state. But several members are considering to move to that one location or region so we can be with each other and work together as a team. It's about 8 or 10 who have suggested they're moving. 2 are definite. The others are considering it strongly. Now, I located a subdivision that is around the Four Corners region, as I say, and it's a lovely site, nice energy vibe to it. The scenery's really good, and whilst ruralish, is close enough to a major town and airport for access and also groceries. Now, this estate currently houses only around 130 to 140 homes, with around 20 to 30 plots of land available for sale at around $27,500. And so you would have no land rent per month, you would own it. Now, there is 8 plots of land available so far at $27,500 each. Now, the cost to install foundation for the home can range from $5,000 to $10,000 depending on whether you are zoned for piers or a slab foundation. And all the homes on there currently are manufactured homes and are priced between $80,000 to $150,000 if purchasing in an existing home, although others can be more expensive depending on what you require. Now, I've also visited a manufactured home company that specialises in bank repo manufactured homes that are fully remodelled. And the cheapest fully remodeled homes with kitchens and bathrooms all complete is $87,000 for a 3-bed, 2-bath home and $91,000 for a 4-bed, 2-bath home. Everything is ready to move in. Now, the cost of the home is inclusive of delivery, installing on the foundations on your land, inspections, hooking up the water and septic tanks if within 20 feet of the home, and there is no sales tax, no closing costs, and in-house financing. Now, the homes are remodelled using 2x6 studs, which is better than the average home of 2x4, and they come with shingle roof with a 30-year lifespan. So for a piece of land and the home, the cost is $119,000 plus the cost of the foundation and the setup of the utilities. And the land can be bought with 20% down, which is $5,500, and the payments on that would be around $107 a month. Now, the homes can also be bought with 5% down, but it's always better to put 20% down to avoid PMI, private mortgage insurance, and 20% down on the 3-bed is between $17,000 and $18,250. And they also have more high-end homes and a nice bed for a 4-bed for $140,000. Now, recently I received some settlement funds from my dad's estate, and I'm now looking to purchase a home that's just half to 3/4 of a mile on that same estate. And that was going to house 3 THI members living together, but one pulled out, and the other 2 have agreed to go ahead. And they will be renting from me in their home, but the rent will be cheaper than anywhere else, because this is about members coming together and building the community. Now, the plan will be for me to move there as well eventually, but either way, I'm only 1 hour or so from that region for meetings in the meantime. Now, if other members wish to purchase lots and homes on that estate, come and join us. Now, I can help you with the details. I do not want to be sent any funds or any money. That is your deal to make, not mine. But I can help you with some of the logistics of it. Now, the area is not prone to hurricanes or tornadoes, extreme heat or cold, excessive winds or excessive snow either. And the taxes on that estate is around $271 a year without a slab foundation, and maybe around $500 to $800 per year with the foundation. So the cost of the $91,000 home with a down payment of $18,250 and your principal and interest at 3.5% over 23 years is $386 per month. So your monthly payments of loans on the land and home is a total of $495 per month, plus tax and insurance. And that's around the equivalent most pay for land rents on community or leasehold lands. Some of them are paying more, $700. There's no HOA fees either. Now, if you are purchasing one of these manufactured repo homes, some of them take around 12 weeks to be ready. so you have time to plan, but you must buy the land first and get the slab ready. All of these lots are around 1 acre. The smallest is 0.87 and the biggest is 1.41. They're all the same price. Now, included in the cost of the land is the septic tank. It's installed, it's already installed, and also the water pipeline is already installed and ready to hook up to the house. So the idea is this will become the launching pad for the THI/TPC community. And what I would like to see is we buy up all the homes as they become available and the whole estate to become the village. Or we can encourage other homeowners on the estate to become part of the TPC. That's, in essence, is advertising. Personal advertising, explaining who we are, what we do. I'm sure there'll be quite a number interested. Now, single-family homes in the region for those not wishing to be in a manufactured home in a village are reasonably priced within the whole region. Now, we will also be looking into applying for grants for rural land areas available in the region. As a non-profit, we can apply for them to take over the land and build on them. Now, there is a commercial plot at the end of the estate available for $50,000 for 25 acres. And again, we will look into getting grants for that and have possibly a TPC shopping mall and possibly also a charter school. Now, I have an update on that, as one member has expressed an interest to buy that 25-acre land and place it into the People's Club. So that's the update on that. Now, all members are welcome to come and live with us in the village. Like I said, there's lovely scenery and plenty of available plots to take over. And from there, we will kickstart the People's Club in a meaningful way. And the object is to have several of these centres strategically placed around the country. Now, there is no personal or financial gain to me doing this. What it does do is it creates more work for me. But this is an opportunity for us all to come together. Now, should the communal gatherings not take off as it should do, after 5 years of running the TPC for no pay, I will take the TPC company in a new direction and steer the funds from the TPC into the village project. You know, I've put a lot of work into the People's Club for no return. 5 years of filing, doing the taxes, collecting all the emails and responding. 5 years of keeping a database of all donations and the associated banking processes, all for no compensation. I wonder how many other people would run a company for 5 years and receive no pay. So that is my challenge to you all. If the communal gatherings don't take off like they should do, then I'm going to take the TPC in a different direction. And I wish this year for it to become more actionable and profitable so we can fund projects, ideas and ventures. This is us being the change. A change for us, a change for each other, and a change for the wider picture. And like the old saying says, build it and they will come.